Hello, good morning, evening, or good afternoon. We are team number 9. We are Edisa, Michelle, Victoria, and me, Paula, and we're going to talk about pedagogical practices in the English as an International Language classroom for the sociolinguistics class. Okay, so team members, it's us. And we're going to talk about, first, we're going to give a definition, then we're going to divide the types. Then we're going to give some advantages and disadvantages for each type and the impact in the English as a foreign language classroom. So first, we're going to give you the definition, and I'm going to start with that. So what is English as an international language? So, well, EIL is a model that celebrates linguistic diversity, includes multilingual and multidialectal features, and provides room for the establishment of local linguistic forms. So according to Garcia 2013, the English as an international language model refers to the knowledge that linguistic exchanges, or most of them, will take place between non-native speakers of English. This is not to say that interactions between native speakers and non-native speakers do not occur, but rather it acknowledges that these are not the norm in most cases. So most linguistic exchanges will be between two people whose first language is not English, and usually their first language is different, varies from each other. The English as an international language model is not intended to provide any rules for a universal form of English that all non-native speakers should be taught or adjust to, and it does not intend to replace English as a foreign language. This model works actually as an alternative to provide students the power to choose which model fits them best in regards to how they want to learn English. And the aims of English as an international language is to provide an alternative for those English in international, for those whose English is in international settings with multilingual speakers rather than only native ones. So here we have an example. And we move on to the types.
Okay, I'm going to explain the types of practices there are. So we have 5 major approaches, and these are the constructivist, that is when people construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world throughout experiencing things and reflecting on those experiences. We also have the collaborative practice, which is when students will better engage with writing, critical thinking, and revision if they engage with others. The integrative approach is the theoretical knowledge, practical skills, and self-regulation are merged. The self-regulation are reflective and metacognitive skills. In the reflective approach, this involves the process of continuous critical reflection to foster self-learning and to improve the subsequent practices. And the last one is the inquiry-based approach, in which it combines both learning and practice. Here are some examples for the constructivist and the collaborative and the integrative. In the constructivist, we have that the student has had encounters with native English speakers and befriend some, making it easier for them to understand grammar points. In the collaborative, the students in the same classroom study together to understand a lesson better. And lastly, in integrative, the student inductively understands grammar points related to the ones they already explicitly learned with the teacher.
Okay, now with the advantages and disadvantages. First, we have the constructivism, and as advantages, we can see that it is based on the students. It puts its student centered, and it provides a guide to children's expected developmental levels. And as disadvantages, we can see that it is very time consuming. Most teachers don't get to do everything on time, and that is a major issue for them. And it doesn't fit with standardized tests. And the problem with standardized tests is that they will always be part of the educational system. So we can't really put them aside. Now we have the collaborative method, and as advantage, we can see that it improves the critical thinking of a child, and it improves its communication skills. As a disadvantage, we know that there is a lot of conflict in the working style because not everyone is a people's person. That's not much the case with children, but it could be. And people learn at different speeds. People have really different ways of learning and times. Now for the integrative method, one advantage is that they create a positive and collaborative learning environment, and they intrinsically motivate students to succeed in real life. A disadvantage is that teachers are very reluctant to putting the time and effort in changing what they already do in classrooms to implement something that doesn't guarantee exceptional results. And there's lack of time to plan effective units and lesson plans. Now we have the reflective method. An advantage is that it allows you to access all levels of a situation, and you will know when the process is complete. A disadvantage is that models may not apply in every situation seen in the classroom, and that the reflective practice is a continuous process, which means that it never ends, or it takes a very long time to end. Now we have the inquiry-based, which is advantage is that it preps the brain for learning, and it cultivates skills for all areas of learning. A disadvantage is that students tend to get very embarrassed in it, and they don't like to speak up or participate. And for certain teachers, inquiry-based learning is too haphazard. That means that it's very difficult, it has a lot of complication, and it's hard to do.
Lastly, we're gonna see about the impact in the English International Language classrooms. First of all, I would like to say that it's very important for us. The students, the teachers, they have more motivation. They like the experience. Their grades improve. It may seem like a lot of work, but it honestly gives results. Also, it makes them more autonomous, and they actually understand what they're doing. For example, you won't have this kind of meme saying that homework is useless or homework is a lot of wasting your energy, which is happening a lot with these classes doing it online. So it's actually very helpful. The other, well, thing that actually help in using pedagogical practices in this classroom is that it helps them with the communication and teamwork skills. So you will see more outgoing kids or trying to actually collaborate in a society. And there's authentic learning experiences. You're not just putting whatever you think it's in the book because it's in the book. You actually try to make them as authentic as possible so they can actually use them in real life. Their thinking and problem solving skills are improving in every day, every time, since they have to think out of the box and they are faced with the most realistic situations. And this actually helps them in the classroom environment because they know they can count on their friends or their classmates or people they don't know but they work in the same environment. So for example, you won't have the issue that their students won't be paying attention because they will always have to do something. And also, you will be able to find the best way to teach them, not just because it says in the book, but because it's the best way for them to learn something, or even they will figure out. That will be all for our team. We have here the references, and we also have a disclaimer that the credits that this all movies, videos, images related to Netflix are part of Netflix and their respective producers. If you want to know more about copyrights, you can follow the link in the references, and we are not making any money, it's just for education purposes. Thank you for your time and have an excellent day.